welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the baddest show in the universe, and that is the Backboard Sports Podcast with your man Fonz
and Quan.
Another Tuesday in the books, huh?
Yeah. Let's keep right on repeating and repeating itself.
It's like I forget the name of the movie, but that's what it feels like. Groundhog Day. That's what it feels like. But but we're gonna go ahead and jump into the topic. So, the NFL. We've seen a lot of changes within the past decade. Almost decade and a half, if you want to be real.
Right.
Well, I can be safe to say it almost in the past 20 years we done seen big changes. Some big, some yeah. So we're gonna rap with y'all for a few minutes, and we're just gonna sit back and have a conversation. We're gonna go through it and see how it go. So the question is the NFL becoming soft? I'm going to go ahead and kick this one off, my brother.
Kick it off, Fonz. Kick it off.
I've seen a lot of NFL. I really started watching football in the late 80s. You know, the heyday of the 49ers. Into the early to mid 90s. That was the heyday of the Dallas Pansies. And now, and then into the 2000s when I seen the rise of the Cheatriots.
It's taking me a while to figure out who you talk about. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just playing. Hey, look, I'm just playing. Don't y'all get too greasy in them comments.
Oh, don't play with them. Shoot, man.
Man, you know, some teams ain't won since I was in middle school or whatever. I'm showing my age, but you know, in my opinion, there's been different eras, right? And in my opinion, I'm not going to say the NFL became soft. I'm going to say that due to the nature of the injuries and the sports betting, which we'll probably get into a little bit later on this episode, I think it changed the NFL.
You're right.
Those changes favor offense. In baseball, you know, everybody likes the home run. Nobody cares about just getting to first base.
You're right.
Everybody liked the home run. So back when I was a kid, I was maybe 8th grade. And those of y'all that's 30, 35 and up, not even 35, my age, you know, it was a battle. It was between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. I know they hit 40 plus home runs apiece. You know, and one got pinged for using steroids, but that's neither here nor there. That was must-see TV. That was all over everywhere, right? Then you get the Cowboys of the 90s. You know, that's all you saw. You know, if you grew up poor like me, you only had 4 channels. And on each and every one of them, depending on the week, there was a Cowboy game.
Right.
And then you get to, like I said, the Patriots. You get to the Patriots, and you know, for a while, maybe to about 2007, that's all you heard of was the Patriots. So, NFL becoming too soft. There's one man responsible really for the NFL becoming really soft, in my opinion. It's one man. You already know who he is.
I know who he is. Ain't got to tell me who it is.
Old Brady. And this happened. See, let me paint the picture for you guys. 2007, the Patriots went 16-0, only to lose in the Super Bowl to the New York Football Giants. Right? Everybody talk about the season. Yes, went off. The following year, 2008. He gets hurt and is out for the season because Bernard Pollard, he was a Chief at the time, tackled him right there on the knee. To me, I felt like it was a legal hit because the man was already on the ground. Go look at the footage. But from that point to today, It changed.
Right.
It changed.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, but you can, hey, you can chime in on this one too, because I feel like I'm preaching to the choir at this point. But bro, I feel like Brady, I'm not going to say he was solely responsible, but he's a catalyst.
Right.
But I mean, hey.
Anyway,
but
is the NFL becoming soft? I wouldn't say that it's becoming soft. I would say it's becoming too safe.
That's good. I like that.
Which is causing the perception of how we've seen football played in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s being played. You can pretty much do whatever you want to do to the person across from you. But as time went on, they've seen a lot of injuries, seen the causes of a lot of injuries, and it's causing the NFL to make a lot of rule changes that is favored to the offensive side of the ball. So I don't think it's necessarily becoming too soft. I just think that the NFL wants to protect the players to the fullest extent possible. We have seen numerous of changes, like the 5-yard rule, which I still don't understand that. I mean, your job as a corner is to stop the receiver from running his route. Why can't I not put my hands on you after the 5 yards? But that's not my rule. That's the NFL rule. But yeah, they definitely are making a lot of rule changes. The hip drop rule or the low tackle rule was, just put in place. They watching out for helmet to helmet, trying to ban that as well to reduce the number of concussions, as we see a few people,
which we totally get.
Yeah, we didn't seen some cases like we was talking about Antonio Brown with his CTE issues, and Damar Hamlin is another great example of head. I don't even think that had anything to do with head-on-head contact, but nevertheless. Yeah. It's a lot of rule changes. I don't necessarily think it. I just don't think it's being. I don't think they're being soft, man. I just think the sport of football, for the ones that love it, like myself, you know what I'm saying. It hurts when you lose a great offensive player to a tackle. They get injured, and I think the NFL understands that. They want to keep it entertaining. Now, do I necessarily agree with the fact that it's favored to the offense? Not necessarily, because it takes the fun out of it. But the NFL is now changing into who can score the most points right now. I mean, it's less of running the ball, more passing the ball. We see the NFL even drafting more pass-heavy quarterbacks, not necessarily ones that can run or good at doing good handoffs or whatever. They want you to be able to throw the rock. Why? Because they're gonna sign or draft highly talented receivers that run 4.2s and 4.3s and blow past you, and they want the NFL to be entertaining to the watchers. So, but do I agree with that? No, because it's just unfair. I feel like the NFL needs to find a way to try to balance the calling out. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to ban helmet to helmet contact tackles, then you don't need to allow the offensive player to lower his shoulder. Because, I mean, if you lower your shoulder on me, then I'm going low, I'm going to allow me to tackle in the legs, or we going, you know what I'm saying, see what they're going to be, But I mean, they need to find a way to balance it out, because it's seeming like they don't want the offensive players to be touched. Like the roughing the passer thing. The roughing the passer thing is outrageous in today's football. Outrageous. Most of the roughing the passer calls can be debatable. Very debatable. Because when you think about it, the defensive player is, first off, depending on their position, is fighting through offensive linemen. Trying to get through there at full speed. This is all in motion, and you expect that defensive tackle to be able to tackle that quarterback without putting weight on them or not slinging them. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, now, roughing the passer thing for me, I'll be like, yo, like, you got to be kidding me, man. This guy is putting a full effort and trying to sack the quarterback, and you don't want him to put any type of aggression or put his weight on. I mean, they protect quarterbacks more often than I feel like any other position on the offensive side of the ball, honestly. And you know what I'm saying? That started from a, you know, specific person, but I'll let you get into that part. But I definitely don't think it's becoming soft. I just think it's just becoming heavily officiated.
That's facts.
To eliminate some of these injuries that we are seeing in the NFL, to I guess keep the longevity of players throughout a season, and I mean for the safety of the players. I know for me, if I had a son or a brother or, you know, dad or however, you know, whatever the circumstance is, I want them to be protected, you know, to the highest extent. So I kind of understand why the modern NFL is sort of, you know, because they got some of the best doctors that, you know, that you'll ever see. And these doctors are coming up with statistics, and they're coming up with studies that, you know, with this heavy contact sport, the NFL just got to adjust to it. Now, whether we'll like it, I don't think so. It takes, you know, sometimes it seems like it takes the fun out of the sport. But I'll let you chime in and give your take.
I agree with everything you said, but the end part. The end game for the NFL, in my opinion, is that they are basically covering their hind parts.
Pretty much.
They don't want players 15 years down the road suing them. So they're doing everything they can to protect the crop of players they got now, to make it safer. Taking a violent sport, a gladiator sport, if you will, that's based on athletic ability, strength, endurance. All of that stuff goes into the football pot. And when you cook that gumbo down, it comes out to what you see on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, sometimes Saturday.
Right. Yeah. So.
And then too, going back to the betting aspect of it, to me, it kind of goes hand in hand, because if I protect the quarterback, if you take the quarterback and lay him down like this here, that's a 15-yard penalty. So if I'm going to protect the quarter, I got to protect the investment. The quarterback is, in a lot of franchises, the highest paid investment on that team. Yeah. So, and because betting is becoming more widespread, you know, I've seen in span of like 5 years, betting is the thing. You know, I partake of it a little bit myself, but that's neither here nor there. Right. But it's a lot of factors that's really watering. I ain't gonna say watering down, because I don't want the fanboys to come after me, but it's really diluting.
Yeah,
the aspect of the game.
I mean, in all honesty, the NFL is in a lose-lose situation.
Pretty much.
I mean, you know, like I was saying, you know, while player safety must be considered a priority, you know, the continual changes and banding of certain moves are kind of changing the overall outlook for football fans. You know what I'm saying? And hence the why this question is up right now. It's because it's changing our outlook on football. You know, we feel like, hey, you put the pads, helmet on, and cleats. I mean, hey, you know what I mean? Anything
on top of making millions
down.
of dollars. Then
on top of making, don't I can't even forget that part.
You know that's the big
one.
Right.
Right. But I mean, it definitely is changing the outlook, man. I mean, in a sense, it takes the fun, not necessarily fun, but like, hey, if your team need a stop, you gonna want your team to make that tackle, whether it's a low tackle, whether it's a whatever they got to do to get that opponent down on the ground, you gonna want them to do. So in a sense, I feel like the officiating should kind of be a little bit lenient on certain calls, because first off, you want the defense to be free and knowing that, okay, I can tackle this guy and not be charged 15, 20 yards. You know, my team get penalized for that. But they putting the defense in a box, man. I mean, I know if I was on defense, I'd be like, hey, man, this could switch me to offense. Because, I mean, it's already a lot of things they got to learn already. I mean, it's already techniques they got to learn. Now they got to try to find a way, okay, but after I come around this tackle, now I got to make sure I don't hit them too low and I don't do this and don't. It's too much thinking. You know, when you come off that doggone line or when you blitzing or somebody trying to, you ain't think about none of that, but you're trying to get them down. So
me, those big defensive ends and D tackles, man, that's like trying to stop a train because your car is stuck on the tracks.
Exactly.
You're not going to stop that train. You're going to see a lot of defensive linemen get hurt.
You're right.
Trying to avoid a penalty.
You're right.
Or trying to avoid ejection, from the game.
Right.
So yes, it's okay to preach safety, but you're gonna the fanboys, you know, the young, I call them the young crowd, as my grandma would say. They the ones who, you know, because they're not in the standard of living as an NFL player, is not going to feel sorry.
You're right.
Their motto is shut up and play.
You're right.
And to me, it's like, bro, you wouldn't get out there and put some pads on. Put your shoulder pads on, put your cleats on, run hard, as you say, with your helmet on. You wouldn't go out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why I'm like, so it's like I agree with you in my earlier stance. I'm like, you know what? That does make sense because you got to protect what you have now. You couldn't protect the ones from back in the day.
Right. That's all
I'm done with. Protect now, but at the same time, it's the intent behind it. Are you protecting them because you got a heart for these people? You want to see them after the game or after their careers are over, live productive lives, or are you really trying to cover your tail?
Right, and keep entertainment going. And that's the only thing it really is.
At the end of the day, it's entertainment. To me, it's like wrestling. It's entertainment.
Right. Right.
And I'm a huge wrestling fan, especially when I was a kid.
Right.
But that was scripted.
Yeah, scripted good too.
All the stories, it was captivating.
Yeah, storylines were dope.
I mean, even now, shout out to the wrestling fans with the Bloodline storyline. I was out of wrestling. I was like, man, this stuff is whack. But then I started peeping at the content. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
And it made me. I mean, and it was like hook, line, and sinker. It made me watch WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
they're trying to make a heavy contact sport safe, and that's just hard.
Football.
It's hard to do. You can't. I don't feel like, honestly, they will never be able to really cover themselves completely because something's gonna happen. They're gonna throw the flag for sure. You know they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that. But there's still going to be an effect to it. Somebody may still get hurt. Somebody may, you know what I'm saying? So things are still going to happen, which is why I really don't understand why they pushing so hard for it. I mean, if you still going to allow them to play, then whatever. But like we always say on the show,
it remains to be seen.
Exactly.
But here, and I'm going to close with this. To make it fair for the defense, now because I love when it comes down to defense. I feel like that's a beautiful art form in football because defenses are sometimes more complex than offenses.
Right.
If you're going to do all this, you have to if you're going to get rid of something, get rid of pass interference. Them spot fouls, get rid of it. You got to make it fair. At some point, you got to make it fair.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like that.
I mean, honestly,
but I definitely understand though.
Honestly, a lot of receivers have made their living off of drawing the pass interference.
You're right, Calvin Johnson.
My
I'm sorry.
That's tough. I was gonna say Torrey Smith, but he said Calvin Johnson. God,
he was definitely one of them. I mean, he already knew.
It should be skill on skill at that point. If you're gonna launch the ball down the field, let's say for a 35-yard pass, let's see the quarterback throw it about 35, 40 yards. It should be skill on skill. Then the ref should have nothing to do with it. The ref should just sneeze or look down or something.
You're right.
Because
he's talking about sneeze or look down or something.
Because, and I'm not saying it because I'm butthurt about something. I'm just saying, give the defense some type of leeway.
Right.
Okay, if I can't hit them hard, if I can't get after the quarterback, at least let me attempt to stop the receiver from getting the open one on me. And if he get me and the receiver get me, hey, good play.
You're right. Right.
That's
I could go for that though. No pass interference calls. That's all right. Because I mean, honestly, half of them really
are bogus.
Yeah, I mean,
half of them like just let them play, dog.
And I feel like they should eliminate it to a certain extent because some of them really do be pass interference. Some of them really do. I feel like some cases that really do be pass interference. But at the same time, like I was saying earlier, leaks back into that 5 yard. You know, you can't make contact with the receiver after 5 yards. They should limit that too. But either way, like I said, the NFL is in a lose-lose situation because if they got rid of the pass interference, then it'll be something else that somebody who wanted to happen or a rule to be changed, and then the next thing you know, right? Yeah, exactly. So we just gonna sit back and see what the NFL gonna do. But I definitely agree with they got to make it balanced. If an offensive player dropped their shoulder trying to truck it. You know, because that's going back to that scenario with Mika Fitzpatrick and Nick Chubb. All right, he made a low tackle, which caused Nick Chubb to have an injury to his ACL. Now, would that same grace been made to Mika if Nick Chubb would have dropped the shoulder and ran over him?
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
It wouldn't have. It would not have.
And I'm throwing up in the back of my throat right now, still in the brown. But it makes total sense.
So the NFL gotta find balance. And well, if you drop your shoulder, then the defensive player should be able to make a low tackle on it. Now, I'm not saying just go for the knee. Like, I'm just going to try and
because we saw a lot of that.
But at the same time, you're as a defensive player, at least this is just in my opinion, and y'all guys comment and let me know if I'm wrong. But if a guy dropped the shoulder, you ain't gonna tackle him up top because you don't get ran over.
No. To answer that scenario though, if it was the other way around and let's say Nick Chubb ran over Mika Fitzpatrick, it would have been a highlight on SportsCenter.
Yeah, I know it would. It's been angry runs on Good Morning Football.
Angry runs. He got trucked. Somebody hit the doggone truck stick. Y'all remember the truck stick from back in the day?
Exactly. So they got to find a way to make it balanced, man, because a lot of these calls that they're changing or rules and stuff is favoring the offense. So it's just like, yo, what do you expect from the defensive side of the ball? What do you want them to do? Because these guys are grown men. They in the weight room. You can't just arm tackle these. Man, no.
Somebody 6'2", about 240, zero body fat. You gonna tell me right this way, sir?
No, man. So it's really not fair for the defensive side of the players because they're going to be the ones getting penalized. And that's going to cause the offense to go up 15, 20 yards up the field. And then depending on the play call, they may have already got 15 yards, and then they got that's 30 yards. So you know what I mean. So
it goes back to the betting aspect of it as well as the fantasy football. Right. People don't want to believe it, but the NFL get a little piece of the pie.
And it is. Vegas definitely is.
because you use it. How can I put it? That's delicate. It's like the NIL for NCAA. You got their name, their image, and their likeness because you see the players' pictures when you're betting on those people, or even when you're doing fantasy football. So so that means the NFL, the NFLPA, whoever's got their hand in the pot, they getting a piece of the lasagna, and oftentimes it's the corner piece.
Right.
But what happens is the NFL goes and say, okay, we getting this money, so we got to protect Patrick Mahomes at all costs. We got to protect Tom Brady at all costs. So I get it. You know, it's a business move. I get it.
Did that. Hey.
Oh my. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, this is my synopsis of it. At the end of the day, neither side is gonna be happy.
Right.
Somebody gonna be in the comments section talking outside their neck. Somebody gonna be in another group chat talking outside of their neck. And it's gonna be an internal argument. And guess what y'all gonna do? Guess what we all gonna do? We gonna watch.
And I know, and September come on, August come on.
You're gonna root for your favorite team, you know. You're gonna root for it, and you're gonna boo the team that you don't like. So right. That's what it's gonna be. But let us know in the comments what y'all think, man. What y'all think about the current climate of the NFL? Do you think it's just becoming soft, or you think there's a lot of factors, or do you think it's just simply a business move? Let us know what you think. And I think we can go ahead and call it right now while the getting is good. So remember to subscribe to the channel. You know, just subscribe, help us out. We're trying to grow this channel, trying to make it be what it is, give it the potential that it needs and everything like that. Right. Make it be what it's gonna be.
Be what's gonna be.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and to the day ones, man, we appreciate y'all the most, man. Y'all keep it up, because there's a lot of people, you know, stopping me like, yo, we like that show. Especially that mock draft show. A lot of people like, yo, they was on that. So we appreciate y'all, man. We are always grateful for y'all. So you got anything else you want to add, bro?
Not at all, brother. Not at all.
All right. So we gonna go and get our draws out the bunch now, so we done got it off our chest and go on chill. So this has been the Back Porch Sports Podcast with your man Fonz
and Quan.
We out, y'all.